You know that feeling when your dog hears a treat bag from 3 rooms away, but somehow your business is invisible on Google? At SearchHound, your marketing companion, we help businesses get found online so customers don't have to go digging. From SEO to Google business profiles to showing up in AI search results, we help the right people find you right when they're looking. So whether you own a business or you know someone who could use more leads, point them in the right direction. Visit SearchHoundSEO.com and let's get your business on the set.
Hey, it's Brooke and Jeffrey in the morning.
You can scroll it later, or better, you can listen live to Brooke and Jeffrey every weekday morning. Big fun, real moments, the laughs that make your day. Your station, your city, right now. That's called radio. In Seattle, that's called Moving 92.5.
And love has many faces. See it in the eyes that look right into your soul. Love has many faces, proud and humble, beautiful and plain, and young and old.
Hello and welcome to Love Has Many Faces here on Alternative Talk 1150. I am your host, Marilyn Milano, and I am very pleased to be bringing back a returning guest, and that is Melanie Ryan from Beck's Place. Now, for those of you that may not remember or might not have heard any of our previous conversations with Melanie, this is an organization in Snohomish County that provides safety for pets while their people are undergoing difficult situations. And we're going to talk more about that in detail. But it's wonderful. They've got a fundraiser coming up. There's a lot going on here. And I'm so excited to be able to get some updates from Melanie on what else is going on with Beck's Place. So on another note, just a reminder, all of our shows are now podcasts as well as being heard on the radio. So you can hear us from 9 to 9:30 on 1150 KKNW. That's 9 to 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. You can also listen online. And then if you type in Love Has Many Faces podcast just in your browser, it will take you to my podcast shows, and you will find them on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. So that's a great, easy way to share with people. So we're here to raise awareness, touch hearts, and save the lives of animals, and thereby helping their people as well. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment with our guest, Melanie Ryan from Beck's Place. I'm Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces.
You know that feeling when your dog hears a treat bag from 3 rooms away, but somehow your business is invisible on Google? At SearchHound, your marketing companion, we help businesses get found online so customers don't have to go digging. From SEO to Google business profiles to showing up in AI search results, we help the right people find you right when they're looking. So whether you own a business or you know someone who could use more leads, point them in the right direction. Visit SearchHoundSEO.com and let's get your business on the set.
This is Martha Norwalk. Every Sunday morning, beginning at 9 a.m., thanks in part to the Ananda Institute of Living Yoga, we cover the world of animals. This week, May 17th, it's Behavior Training and Healing Sunday with me, and talk with your human or animal loved ones on this side or the other, and personal readings with Natasha Venter. Hope you can join us and plan to call in with questions for either one of us or a personal reading with Natasha Venter. Martha Norwalk's Animal World, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to noon, right here on Alternative Talk, AM 1150.
Alternative Talk 1150. It's good for what ails you. This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA.
Welcome back to our show, and welcome Melanie Ryan.
Hello, thank you. It's so good to be back.
Oh, I'm thrilled to have you, and it sounds like there's a lot going on. So I know there are probably people out there that aren't familiar with what you do. I run into total animal lovers every day, and they've not heard of your program, and that just goes to show it really takes a lot of publicity and networking and marketing to get the word out to all the people that could possibly benefit from your program, or maybe be volunteers or donors for your program. So how about the quick rundown on what Beck's Place is all about?
Absolutely. And we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary last year. So we have been around, and we find that as well, that people still are learning about us. But what we do is we remove pet-related barriers to human health, safety, and security. So we believe people and pets go together, and that when one needs help, the other person needs help too, or the other pet needs help too. And
Yes.
so we have two major programs: our foster boarding program, which temporarily cares for a pet when a family is in crisis. Many families can't or won't receive services if they have to give up their pet. Or the flip side is if they do have to give up their pet, that means that pet is going into what is already an overburdened shelter system. When they already have a family who loves them, takes care of them, they just need a place to stay temporarily. And then we also have our mobile outreach program where we travel Snohomish County and we provide pet food and supplies to families who need it, which is becoming increasingly a higher number of people as this economy is really stretching people's budgets.
It's so difficult. I know people personally who are stretched. Now, a couple of the people I know are in King County, but I know you serve Snohomish. I keep hoping that this will be something that will spread to every county in the country. I mean, how do we make that happen, right?
We'd love to do that as well.
So, and again, this could be people that they're dealing with domestic violence. We do know that when people are in a domestic violence situation, they will often not leave because of the concern for their pet. If someone has been hit financially and maybe they lose the place that they're living, they may be in a shelter or a place that won't accept pets. And it's got to be just so much of a load off to know that their pets are safe and being cared for until they can provide that stable environment for them again.
You're absolutely right. In the 2 year period of 24 to 25, we gave over 2,000 nights of safety for pets whose people were in crisis. And about half of those, a little over 1,000, were people who were experiencing housing insecurity. And they just needed to be able to go somewhere temporarily, whether that was a shelter, whether they were sleeping on someone's couch but couldn't bring their pet with them until they were able to get back to stable housing. 500, a little over 500, 551 of those nights were physical and mental health reasons. So we work with some of the hospitals, they may call us, or we work with the paramedics, they may call us that they have an emergency situation. There are pets in the home. We've literally had people say they will not get in the ambulance if it means leaving their pets because they have nobody, which means emergency services are going to take that pet to a shelter. About 386 of those nights were people who were seeking treatment for substance use disorder. So we see all the time on social media, people are frustrated with that situation going on our sidewalks and our streets. But this is a real solution to that, where there are people who will go if they have a place for their pets. And again, what rounds out the balance of those nights are our domestic violence families. And we even work with people proactively who are trying to get out of those situations so that there is a safety plan for their pet as well. So when they leave, we're able to immediately help them in that moment.
You know, that warms my heart. I have known people in the past who have been in tough situations. I know someone who was homeless for a short time because of a situation beyond her control. I know of another person many years ago who was dealing with domestic violence. And, you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, those of us that love our animals so much, for some, it might be the only lifeline they have. We've found out that many people who are unhoused, that pet might be their lifeline, their best
Yes.
friend, person, the being that brings them comfort and gives them a reason to keep going. And I mean, it's for people in homes or who are suffering from health issues, mental or physical. Um, they're like, what am I going to do? I can't leave. I mean, it's family. I know this. My pets are family to me. And
You're absolutely right with that. And, we can tell you story after story, how beneficial pets are to seniors. We know that seniors who live alone and have a pet experience less cognitive decline. So, it's heartbreaking when we get a call from a paramedic or a hospital that a senior needs a hospital stay and they won't receive medical care if they have to give up their family. That's their family.
That's right.
And we can tell that story with every situation we have here, with every case that comes in there. And also, we also know pets have feelings. Pets are attached to their people.
Yes.
And so the idea of having to take away a pet from their family, whom they also love and are so bonded for, and put that pet through trauma, there's no getting away from the fact that they may have to be temporarily homed elsewhere, but they're going to be homed in a loving foster home. They're not going to be in a kennel. They're not going to be in a place that they're stressed out unnecessarily, and then they're going to get to be reunited with their person. We're also doing the most humane thing we can think of for the pet as well.
Oh, yes. I mean, our animals are so attached. I mean, one of my two follows me everywhere, including to the ladies' room. And, if I walk downstairs out of the garage to go get the recycling bin, she's up there, oh, oh, like I'm leaving her. And she doesn't bark otherwise. But I mean, they have feelings. They understand. They miss us. They love us. And so that is why so many people are like, okay, if you can't take care of my pet for me, I would rather put my own life or safety at risk
Yep.
because that's my kid. I mean, that's my friend, my family, my soulmate, my lifeline. So,
Yep.
and so how did Beck's Place get started and what changes have you seen since you first launched this over 10 years ago?
Yeah, so I started it. It was really, my own path of what I did professionally, which was in finance and really developing a business mind. Then I also went and got a master's of social work. And so I really understood kind of some of the social problems we were dealing with. And then I always had cats. And then my husband finally talked me into getting a dog. And so and cats, of course, are a little bit more independent. So we could go away for a few days or something like that. And the cats would be okay. You could leave food and water and stuff like that. But the dogs, I really understood a different situation of how they needed more support. And I just really saw with those things, with the business mind, I saw this gap for people getting human services. And I built this relationship with pets that I had. And I thought, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine having to give up my pets, or I couldn't imagine having to surrender them. And I thought, this is what I need to do. I need to start this organization. And at that time, nobody was doing anything like this in the state. Now, there has been a little bit more of this happening in some organizations, and there is a big movement. One of the big changes we're seeing is there's a bigger movement on the social services side, on the human side, to say we recognize that pets need to be part of the solution. And the other big thing that has changed is that, particularly since COVID, the demand has increased significantly. The demand has always been higher than what we could meet. But COVID, and then now these economic issues that, people are getting laid off. So people who are otherwise financially secure are facing economic pressures they'd never expected.
Yeah.
Our mobile outreach that we do around the county, giving the food and supplies, is increasing. We have this year, for the first time ever, we've had mobile outreach events where we've run out of food to give people. So I think that kind of that first half of the first 5 years, the second half is just marked by an increased demand, while at the same time there's a decrease in resources available to meet that demand.
It's really disheartening at times, very discouraging, and yet seeing organizations like yours doing things reminds us that one person can start something, or one person can share an email or make a donation. Now, I know that you had mentioned that aside from needing foster homes, and if I understand right, even though you serve Snohomish County, you have foster homes around the state, yes?
Correct. Primarily in obviously Snohomish County, but King and Pierce, and then sometimes up in, a little bit north of Snohomish County, we get fosters as well. So you don't have to be in Snohomish County to be a foster for us by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay. And I mean, that's again, I hear from various groups across the board that fostering is needed more than ever. The shelters, even
Yep.
the regular run-of-the-mill shelters, are getting fuller. People are turning in pets that they can't afford. It's really, this is when all of us have to step up. And one of my mottos has always been do something, right? So, it's like if you can't adopt foster, if you can't foster volunteer, if you can't volunteer donate, if you can't donate, share an email. Do something. If everybody who cares did something, it would make a huge difference. So tell me about this 365 Nights of Safety campaign that is going to be the focus over the next several weeks.
Right. So we just launched on social media, and then our base of loyal supporters will be hearing about it in the next day or two. But we are launching 365 nights of safety, where basically the cost of one night of having a pet in our foster care program is $49. And so for every night that you donate, $49, you will get an entry into a drawing once we reach 365 nights for a weekend getaway. And you get a choice of your weekend getaway to either Seabrook, Washington, if you've ever been there on the coast, Alderbrook Resort and Spa, or the Finch, which is in Walla Walla for a wine weekend. And that was generously donated by a sponsor, MFRCC Community, so that does not come out of any of the donor funds. But we have a fun little graphic on our website that has a paw tracking every night that is donated, and we're looking to get 1 year's worth of nights, 365 nights. And remember, we gave 2,000 worth of nights over a 2-year period, but we're looking to fund 365 nights of safety with this campaign.
Well, I think that is fantastic. And I mean, I love the idea that there's also a little carrot in there, although most folks who want to help are going to help. And this is just a nice little extra thing, but it's lovely that that's there. And all of these three places are wonderful getaways. And so if they go to becksplace.org, they can find this on your website, right?
Yes, if they hit donate, it'll take you to that page.
Okay, so just go to Beck's Place. That's just like it sounds, BECKS place.org, and hit the donate button, and then you will be directed to their Donate a Night of Safety. And who knows, you might wind up with a little getaway on top of that. But $49, most of us could manage that. I know things are tight for many, but I mean, I just think it's so important that we all do what we can. And if you can't donate a night of safety, donate $5. I mean, everything helps. Am I right?
Absolutely. I love what you said earlier. Sometimes our most meaningful donations really are the $5 because those are people who are really giving so passionately with probably limited resources. And we recognize that and we're so grateful for that. And again, if you're on social media, if you can't donate, share, or if you can, maybe you can't be a foster for us for the next 5 years, but you could just do one foster stint for us, or you can donate a bag of food for us.
Yes.
We really do need to raise some funds right now, but we appreciate any way that you can give and support, and we know that each one of those is meaningful.
I think so too. And again, I mean, it has been a driving message in my psyche to do something. Do something. I mean, there was an Eagles tune called Do Something. And when I first heard that, this was years ago, but it just sort of stuck with me. And it wasn't about donating. It was more about, doing something in your life to move forward or to make it better or whatever. But the message is there. And sometimes it's frustrating. because sometimes you can't get well-meaning people to quote do anything. They mean well, but they're like, well, $5 is too little, or well, I'll make a call tomorrow. With certain issues, you can make calls about issues, and I just can't stress enough. If you're thinking about it, do something. And if you can't do anything else, share an email, share a link, share about what Beck's Place is doing, because not everybody out there knows about this organization. And the more people that know about it, the more pets we can help, the more people we can help, and the better this is going to run. And we want this to keep going and perhaps even spur on folks in other counties who can do something along these lines. Now, we've got a few minutes left here, so I want to make sure I leave time for anything else you would like to leave our listeners with. So far, we know we need fosters. We're going to really promote the donating a night of safety, get people to the Beck's Place website, the mobile outreach program providing food. What else do people need to be aware of right now, Melanie?
I think people, need to be aware that I would launch a little bit off of what you just said, that it can be frustrating, but also people are so overwhelmed right now.
Yes.
And so with that, I think I really want to share a little bit about success, right? And really share a story of success. And I want to share a story of a client that recently was reunited with her cat.
Oh.
And she was in a domestic violence situation. And if you know anything about domestic violence and pets, you know that people who abuse people have a high correlation of abusing animals as well.
Yes.
And that up to 40% of domestic violence victims will not escape their situation because they fear safety.
Yeah.
So we were able to get this pet into emergency care, emergency home foster, while this person escaped. And so they had 19 days to get to safety and security where they felt comfortable enough they could bring the cat back without fear. And I just want to read you the card that they sent. And so everyone can feel just maybe a little bit of hope in this world.
Yes.
She said, "Dear Beck's Place, thank you so much of taking care of Nil. Your kindness really gave me hope and kept me going when I was feeling my lowest. You did something much more than just help my cat. You truly supported me through a tough time. I hope your project continues to reach and help even more people. You guys are doing something truly amazing."
Wow. I mean, those are the things you cannot buy that. Those are the kinds of things that make our hearts feel better, that help us realize there is still goodness out there. There is still hope for humanity. And there's so many people that do want to help. And as you also said, sometimes people don't know where to help, or there are so many organizations that need help, or they want to help, but they're trying to live their own lives and juggling bills and kids and animals. And I just really want to encourage people, take 5 minutes out of your morning or your afternoon, whenever you have a few minutes, and think, what can I do today? If I can't send money, can I share a link? Can I tell someone about Beck's Place or perhaps another organization that is needing help? Let's just keep getting the word out, sharing the stories, sharing the successes, letting people know that there are resources available. And in doing that, I've always said on my show, we want to raise awareness, touch hearts, and save the lives of animals. And in doing that, we're helping people too.
Absolutely. Amen.
So, well, Melanie, thank you so much for being with us today. I've been speaking with Melanie Ryan from Beck's Place, and this is, again, an organization serving Snohomish County and helping pets and people who are in situations where their pets may need temporary housing while people deal with whatever issues are on their plate. So you can learn a lot more at becksplace.org. Think about funding at least one night of safety if you can. The information is on the website. I think this is a wonderful idea, and I'll be looking forward to hearing how this goes. Maybe we can circle back in a couple of months and see how things are going and get an update from you.
That sounds great. And again, thank you so much for having us on.
Love to. I'm happy to. My heart is with the animals and their people. So thank you for being here. I'm Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces. We just had a wonderful conversation with Melanie Ryan of Beck's Place. We're going to take a very short pause and come right back to wrap things up.
Hi, this is Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces. The music that you're hearing during this show every week is exclusively original music from my own CDs. If you're enjoying it and would like to order a copy of one of my 2 CDs for yourself or as a gift, just go to marilynmilano.net and you can order directly from the website. I give a portion of every sale back to Animal Rescue because that's part of the whole cause. Thank you for listening and thanks for your support.
Make it a great day. Keep your dial on Alternative Talk 1150.
Well, welcome back to Love Has Many Faces. I am your host, Marilyn Milano, here on Alternative Talk 1150. And thank you for joining us. It's so wonderful to speak with Melanie Ryan of Beck's Place. They are doing such great work. And again, if you caught part of our program or are just tuning in now and are curious, if you go to becksplace.org, B-E-C-K-S place, becksplace.org, you will learn more about how they are helping animals and their people stay safe. They're providing shelter for animals whose people might need a hospital stay or maybe having a housing crisis. So lots of wonderful stuff. So exciting. Do check it out. And just another reminder, we podcast now. Check for us wherever your favorite podcasts are heard. Just type in Love Has Many Faces podcast. And I wish everyone a wonderful week. Until next time, this is Marilyn Milano here on Alternative Talk 1150.